From wild parties and messy roommates to pulling all-nighters in the library, we've all heard a few of those crazy college stories. And what about scholarships? Do you really need a perfect SAT score to get one? And is Meatloaf Monday and Taco Tuesday really a thing? You've got questions and we've got answers. Today is all about what I wish you knew about college. Hello, I'm Yasmin Arrington, and welcome to I Wish You Knew. For high school seniors, going to college can be overwhelming when you think about the application process, making new friends, and finding a way to pay for it. But things like studying abroad, joining a club, and of course those parties can easily calm the freshman fears. With me today to share what they wish you knew about college are
Zeppelin Tillman
and Brittany Timmons.
Let's start at the very beginning. So what were your feelings about going to college?
My feelings about going to college it was high, but then it was low. For me, I knew I wanted to go to college. I've always wanted to do that. I knew I was going to get there, but my road and my plan to getting there is what was blurry and what was complicated. For example, I had my heart set on Temple University. I was praying about it. It was going to work out, but I didn't get into Temple. And my DC Cap advisor, she was the one who would tell me to sit down and fill out this application just in case. And sometimes I would tell her, no, Miss D, I'm gonna be okay. But thank God I did those things. So I ended up going to Delaware State University, which wasn't an option at all for me, but that's where I ended up. So it had its pros and cons for me when applying for school.
Yeah, I mean, I was super excited. It was a process that I don't think that anybody can really kind of like prepare you for, in the sense of that, it's like, you have all the applications and you have the college visits and, all that sort of thing, but you're excited kind of like for that next step. You're kind of planning a year out, like this is where I'm gonna be in a year. So you're kind of like forward thinking a little bit. So it's exciting from that perspective. You said a little bit nervous because it's, you kind of don't necessarily know, but like I said, it's exciting. So that was kind of where I was at with it.
Right, nice.
For me, my parents didn't graduate from college, and my older brothers didn't either.
So you're
the
fresh.
type of guide, so the guidance to even filling out the applications and looking into schools and really deciding what is supposed to attract you to the school, what's supposed to be good about it, or I didn't have that. I was just figuring it out for myself and what I thought I wanted to do.
I was looking at like which schools had the best social scene, initially, like.
Turn up is important.
Like my main choices, my mom like threw away those applications because they were just like super party heavy. So I didn't even really get to like apply to the ones that I really wanted to go to. But that was a big important thing, when you're like 16, 17 years old for me, I was like, where can I have the most fun at?
Right. It sounds like you all are saying that definitely the people in our lives and our college counselors and our parents play a part in influencing us, whether they went to college or not, where to go, and your mom saying, no, this isn't the time for partying.
I wasn't happening.
Right, but for me, I always knew, even when I was in high school, I just wanted to do communications. I wanted to do communications, do radio and television, it's all. And people were saying, well, why don't you check out Elon University? Never heard of Elon University. It's in North Carolina, and I didn't go on many college visits, but that time I went on a college visit. They had a multicultural weekend because it was a PWI, it's a predominantly white institution, and I fell in love with it. So, just like you with your story, and you went to Delaware, and then you transferred, right?
I transferred. I ended up transferring to North Carolina A&T,
man.
which is
Aggie
on
pride.
the list as one of those party schools. But for
Did you have a
me,
good time?
after. Kinda.
Okay.
I didn't have a good time in the sense of maybe what you're talking about, because by the time I transferred, I was already a junior with different credits in music and mass communications, and I didn't have like my math and Spanish finished, but I had like a whole semester of mass communications. So I was kind of like that struggling student that had spent money already, and I invested 2 years, but I wasn't graduating with nothing in the next 2 years. So where was I going? But I always knew I wanted to do theater and wanted to do things of that sort. but I wasn't sure if I should have. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, when you come out of here, you need to be able to have a 9 to 5. You have to work. You have to start building that bank account. And not that my parents told me that. That was just American way in my mind. So by the time I went to North Carolina A&T, I was in love with everything. I still wanted to be at a HBCU, so that's really why I chose it. I didn't go to Howard because I needed to get away. I didn't want to be in DC anymore. I didn't want to be up under mom and dad. So I was like, well, let's go here. And it was a good time. I had fun based on building and committing to what I said I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a business where nothing's promised when you come out of there or anything of that sort, and you have to make it happen.
Right.
And going back to things being a party school, I think that's where it gets tricky because a lot of young folks, and I've even witnessed some that are picking schools based on, oh, I heard this about that school, it's fun there. My cousin went there and she's always going back on a weekend for a party. So I think it kind of tears us down because sometimes those type of people don't make it out because they're going there for the parties instead of what the major is going to offer or the type of work you're going to put in that department.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much. Hold that thought. We have to take a break, but we will be right back with more of what we wish you knew about college. Welcome back to I Wish You Knew. Hollywood has a way of portraying college as nonstop partying, pulling all-nighters, and cheering for your school during homecoming. While this may be true for some, there is more to college than what you see on the big screen. While there's no one path to graduation, our panel has a few tips to add to your survival guide. So what do you say, panel? What advice would you give to students before move-in day?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say is have some sort of plan, what you want to do. You know, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be detailed because you're still kind of learning, but have some sort of plan, right? Like, go talk to your counselor, go, you know, see who your teachers are, when you're going to go meet them, kind of like really figure out if you have a plan to graduate in 4 years, who do I need to kind of talk to make sure this can kind of happen? Go learn about the resources, know yourself, know your strengths. Okay, in high school, I was good at math and science, bad at English, but I know I have to take this. So where in my freshman year should I make sure that I spend more time, right? Just like kind of think about it a little bit through. Don't just like, you know, jump into the pool thinking you're jumping into like, you know, 3 feet and then it winds up being 10 feet because you didn't really like, you know, prepare yourself kind of for what's going on, right? So that would be the biggest thing I would say, like freshman year, just kind of have some sort of plan and then just allow what happens to still happen, but have a plan a little bit.
I would say for that incoming freshman to have fun, experience college, and to really give it a chance. Some people cancel college out based on, you know, the first 2 weeks. It's overwhelming. I have to go to this class, and then I got lost going here. But that's the way of life. That's what college is going to give you. You're not being driven to one building to be there from 8 to 3:15. It's changed. I would say really like experience what college is because people also give up too soon. I've seen all the stories and I've heard all the stories, the partier that drops out, the person that goes back home because college isn't for me. And then you have sometimes that partier that turns into that valedictorian and that's walking away from the undergrad with the full ride waiting for graduate school. So, you know, you really do have to give it a chance. Just because your cousins and your friends back at home said, you know, college wasn't for me and this is where I want to be in DC, maybe that's not your story. So I really would want that person to really embrace that your journey is going to be your journey and it's not going to be like anybody else's. And once you've accepted that, I believe you'll be able to get through. I was.
I feel you on that. I would also say, like, you know, this is the first time in your life you're away from like mom and dad on a consistent basis. You know, don't fall in love in your first semester. You know, like you can if you want to, but you know, that there's a temptation to do that instead of, like you said, really kind of experiencing everything. You know, just take it in stride. You know, if you find somebody you like, you know, be cool, but don't like, you know, fall head over heels and like, you know, you're 18 years old and you just kind of green behind the ears, you know, so like that sort of thing as well. Just like, because there's, you know, I'm sure you all have seen people who come in.
That's a part of college, just seeing all these different people and you just get too happy.
Right, yeah.
Which isn't good all the time.
Yeah. I would say for high school graduating seniors going into college for their first year, to keep an open mind, and I would say just talk to different people and don't necessarily just limit yourself to talking to people that look like you and that came from the same state where you're from, because there's just so many things. I would say take a few different classes that you normally would not take. I took West African dance. It changed my life. And then I went to Ghana and we danced there. I mean, just all these experiences, maybe take a different language, maybe take a cooking class. I mean, there's just so much that you can absorb in college. And I agree with you, it's definitely good to have a plan. Because if you go and just like, I'm gonna see what happens, you know, it's kind of like rolling dice, you know, you don't really know.
And to piggyback, like you said, you went and studied abroad. Take those risks.
Yes.
Like sometimes really the city outside of here is so much more to offer. Like, you know, you do go to college and you connect with the people that's your people, your back home folks. But sometimes it was always good for me to see those young African American males and young ladies from the same place that I am that's striving and pushing for more. You know, we talk about what neighborhood you come from, where you live at, do you know this person, do you know that person? And you hear all these stories. But at the end of the day, it's so funny that we all wind up here trying to better ourselves and trying to get so much more from this college experience. Because you want something, you allowed yourself to go there. So it is something that you really want at the end of it all.
Yes.
I would say health is a big thing too.
Yes.
You know, kind of when you're coming in, right? Like it's like you don't have physical education or, you know, just like people pushing you to go play sports if you did that in high school. Now it's kind of like, all right, if you want to work out, you got to get your butt up and go to the gym by yourself.
Because that freshman 15
you know what I'm saying?
does exist.
That sort of thing. And then even what you eat, like you have like a buffet at most schools where you can get whatever you want. You don't want to just go, you know, ham on the unhealthy food and then the dessert every day because like, and then you're not working out.
Right.
You're going to see that, you know, by the time October and November gets here. So I would also say, you know, just think about your health, where you want to be with that, and then, you know, act accordingly. Don't just, you know, dive straight into everything that you have access to.
And it's about growing up because like you said with the calf, you don't have your mother adding that extra vegetable to the meal. You know, you have to have a vegetable. But you know, in calves, burgers and fries are given every day.
Exactly.
The salad bar is there, but you have burgers and fries that you can just wait for. They're gonna be hot, they're gonna be fresh. So you really do have to commit yourself to making a lifestyle for you while you're in college.
For sure. And speaking of the calf, when y'all was in the calf, what did those conversations freshman year look like? Were you in there for
we
like?
Was excited. I know when
like
Fried Chicken Fridays happened, it
Word.
was lit.
We had Fried Chicken Thursday.
It was a party. Like you waited in line just sometimes for the socialness of it. Sometimes, where you coming from? Class? No, girl, I just got dressed up to go to the calf. That's how it was. Like the calf was a function.
Exactly. So, I mean, but I'm saying though, you should probably not spend 3 hours.
And you're right.
But you can though. That was the thing about the calf.
It was comfortable.
Like,
it was
super
real comfortable.
You was around all your friends to kind of, you know, do that. But I don't know.
That's great, Zep. Hold that thought. A college degree is a sure step towards success, but some may choose a different path to reach their goals. We'll talk about those college alternatives when we come back. Be sure to join our conversation on Twitter and tell us why you think college is cool. College is only one option for high school graduates. In fact, of the 3 million high school grads in 2015, only 69% of them enrolled in college that fall. What other options are there, and how can graduates get connected to these resources?
Yeah, I think that there's a bunch of other things that you can kind of do. Like, say, for example, you feel like you're super artistic, right? Like, and you feel like going to college isn't going to help you pursue that dream if you want to be a musician or if you want to, you know, be in Hollywood. And you're like, well, I got to go to California, I got to go to New York. You don't necessarily have to go to college, but once again, like I said, when you do go to college, you should still have a plan in regards to like, okay, if I don't want to go there, this is kind of what I want to pursue, and really take your time to kind of like research it. Don't just kind of be like, I don't want to go, I want to do this, but I don't really have a plan for kind of, you know, what it is that I want to do, you know, after.
Yeah.
What do you?
I would say, I think even though this is still school, maybe not necessarily college or university, but trade schools, you know, where you can go and either maybe some high school students have parents or a family member who, you know, does heating and cooling or engineering or something,
yeah,
and
that's
they
a
have
good
been
point.
shadowing them and they kind of know. But if you go ahead and go to trade school and really hone your skills, and they can easily, after they go from trade school, go on to make a good career and, you know, make some good money, be able to take care of your family. You know, some people just go into a career, start working. I mean, if that works for
them,
you,
yeah.
if that works
I
for
would
you,
say,
then that's
I know,
good.
like, sometimes you really just have to think about what is it that you're good at. Like, if you know that college isn't just definitely for you, or you don't have the funds to get there, but that's never an excuse, because scholarships offer
Yes,
in
there
all
are
types
so
of
many
shapes and
scholarships.
sizes and for so many different
ways
reasons.
to
Yeah.
find them too.
But
like, yeah.
you know, doing hair, and I know not cosmetology school is always in somebody's budget, but doing hair and doing nails, giving haircuts is something that would never go out of style.
Yep.
It would never get old. It's always going to be needed.
That's
Yep.
right.
Definitely in our today. So if you
Yes.
really, like, sometimes just really commit to what it is that you say you're going to do, because sometimes girls grow up have been doing hair since they were 13 years old, and they can really do it. So it's always something for you to do. I believe in sometimes always finding the passion. I'm a very passionate person. So finding the passion, even if it's you fixing cars. If you was always the neighborhood dude that was able to work on somebody's car, whether it being really like finessing it or like really just fixing something basic, you can open up your own shop, or you can really send out cars and be the guy that the mechanic that people can come to.
Right.
I think it just all depends on the person and what it is that they are looking for in life. Because sometimes people just get lazy.
Right.
Oh, I graduated from high school. That's enough right there.
Yeah.
So what's next? Let's just go get a basic job instead of really just figuring out what my career path can be for the rest of my life.
Brittany, it's interesting that you brought up something really important as well. As another option is entrepreneurship, and one, you know, that's I think we've always had some amazing entrepreneurs in our communities and in our nation and our world, but especially now, social entrepreneurship is really hot. So I think it's a great option for high school students who they identify an issue in their community that they want to see change. If they decide to start a nonprofit or some sort of community organization, I think that that's a great option if they decide that college is not for them, or if they want to focus on that first. They should definitely.
And meeting with those adults that own those nonprofits and those businesses to just say, you know, in the middle of your high school, if you know you're not going to go to college, find a mentor. Find a mentor that will really commit some time to your life and that will really grab you by the hand and try their hardest to lift you up. But only if you're trying, you know, you have to try too. You got to give both. But sometimes a mentor can lead you into things that they know, and therefore that opens so many doors for you.
And self-education is key. I mean, I think we're all kind of touching on it, but like if you are going to be an entrepreneur, if you're not going to go to college, don't stop learning. You know, whatever it is, you know, even more so, you really want to be in books, you want to be, there's conferences that you need to attend, or people in the community you need to connect with. You always need to keep growing and keep learning, because you know, I feel like in social media era, we can always go on and see successful people without seeing the grind and the work that they put in to get there, right? And so you can kind of get so attached to the result instead of realizing like they put in a lot of work to get to that point.
That's right.
And so you could see that at 18, but also understand that there's a lot of work that needs to kind of be put into that, and you know, what do I need to do in order to make sure that I achieve what it is I want to achieve by not going to school.
And sometimes it's surprising, those people like you were talking about that have these millions and they have these businesses, a lot of them didn't go to school or they didn't finish. It was self-education, like you were saying. They were picking up books, they were reading it, they were meeting people and taking those small opportunities. They were very humbled. If I wasn't getting paid, I still did it because this person was going to be in the room and I wanted to connect with this person for a moment. So you really have to figure it out because it's there for you. School is not the only option. It's an option, but it's other options too, but you have to figure it out. I think as millennials, sometimes we still don't accept that we're grown-ups. We're we're young adults right now. We have to make some real concrete decisions that's going to affect us in the next, I want to say 4 years. I'm 23. When I hit 26, you round that off, that's 30. That's getting there.
You just skipped the whole 4 years, though.
No,
Hold
I'm
on,
telling
no.
you, you just
You're 26 to 30, though?
yes.
I mean, like, yeah, but not really. That's
You look
college.
at the round number that's at the end, that's close to the other number.
I mean, like, okay, I guess. Maybe. If you see it that way, but no, I mean, I don't know. I'm that age, you know, like if I'm 26, 27, I'm there until I hit 30. I'm not trying to rush it. Maybe I'll try to rush it.
Maybe
now.
I'm a little fearful of it. Maybe that's
Okay, that's a good
I
point.
noticed that with guys though. Guys tend to they don't think they're.
They
I
think
talked
they
to
have a lot of
somebody.
time.
I talked to a guy the other day. He was like, "I'm just 34." I'm like, "Just 34? You
And
almost
that's a part
40."
of the problem. Sometimes they don't take it serious. I'm just
you got a
24.
plan.
24 is, that's a little, you got to get a little stable in those times. You got to really start exactly back to what I was saying.
Yes.
You have to grow up.
Yes.
But we're not going to turn this about guys because I can go on about that for a minute.
No,
But
okay.
you all hold that
Yeah,
thought.
she saved you.
So that's all the time we have for this edition of I Wish You Knew. We'd like to thank all of you at home for watching. We'll catch you next time. But before we go, what's the word?
The application for federal student aid is always available January 1st of every year.